Picture this. The Houston Texans head coach drops a comment about Lamar Jackson that leaves everyone scratching their heads. Reporters, analysts, even fans were all raising their eyebrows, wondering if he really just put Lamar Jackson and Cooper Rush in the same conversation. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what dominated the headlines this week. And the timing couldn't be more dramatic. All of this comes while the big question still hangs in the air. Will Lamar actually play after that hamstring injury? Nobody knows. The Ravens are keeping everything under wraps, and every single word is sparking debate. Stick with me, because this story has twists you need to hear all the way to the end. Sometimes one sentence can snowball into a huge mess, and that's what happened to Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans. Asked about Lamar Jackson and Cooper Rush, he said that for his defense. It doesn't matter who plays, the focus has to stay the same. On paper, fine. But the way it came out had people stunned, as if he was saying Lamar and Rush are on the same level, which, let's be honest, nobody believes for a second. Instantly, reporters, fans, and media shows ran with it. The truth is, Ryans wasn't trying to compare who's better. That answer's obvious to everyone. Lamar Jackson is one of the most dangerous players in the league, while Cooper Rush is a backup who'd only see the field in case of emergency. What Ryans really meant was something different, that the Texans' defense can't afford to let its guard down no matter who lines up at quarterback. The message was discipline. Stay sharp, no excuses. But the NFL world lives off sound bites. Coaches' words get replayed, dissected, and spun across podcasts and social media. Out of context, that line turned into a debate about whether Ryans actually believed Rush and Lamar should be prepared for the same way. A harmless quote became fuel for endless arguments. At the end of the day, Ryans' message was meant for his locker room. Stay disciplined, don't underestimate anyone, and bring the same intensity regardless of who's under center. Still, from the outside, it sounded like he'd blurred the line between two quarterbacks living in completely different realities. And that's where the bigger storyline takes over, the uncertainty around Lamar himself. He's still questionable for the game, and that cloud is hanging over everything Baltimore does this week. The question of the week is simple. Will Lamar Jackson suit up against the Texans or not? After tweaking his hamstring in the last game, he hasn't practiced once, and that silences everyone on edge. Reporters are digging for clues, but the Ravens are giving away nothing. No real updates, no clear status, just silence. And that mystery is complicating preparations on both sides. When a star like Lamar is in doubt, it changes the entire conversation. For Baltimore, it's a dilemma. Do you protect your MVP caliber quarterback and think about the long haul, or gamble with his health to grab a big win now? On the flip side, Houston has no idea what to expect. It's like studying for two completely different exams at the same time. You can't prepare the same way when the uncertainty is this big. And here's the catch. Lamar doesn't actually need a week of practice to be ready. He knows the system. He has chemistry with his teammates, and his talent alone is enough to flip a game on its head. That's why right up until kickoff, there's a very real chance he's cleared to play, keeping suspense alive for everyone watching. That uncertainty isn't just bad luck. It's strategy. Teams love to keep things tight-lipped, forcing opponents to waste time preparing for multiple scenarios. The less Houston knows, the tougher it gets to craft a game plan. Still, no matter how you spin it, the difference between preparing for Lamar Jackson and preparing for Cooper Rush is night and day, which leads right into the obvious question. How do you even put Lamar and Rush in the same sentence when they're worlds apart? This isn't even a debate. Lamar Jackson and Cooper Rush don't belong in the same conversation when it comes to talent or impact. Lamar has literally changed the game, a quarterback with a rare blend of arm strength, speed, and creativity that defenses still can't figure out. He's a two-time MVP, the latest in 2023, and just being on the field forces defenses to completely change how they line up. Rush, meanwhile, is a backup. He can manage a game here and there, but he doesn't scare opposing defenses. The only reason these two names are even linked this week is because of Lamar's injury. And that's why Ryan's comment turned heads. Nobody, absolutely nobody, thinks they're equals on the field. The gap goes way beyond stats. It's psychological. Facing Lamar means bracing for explosive plays, unexpected scrambles, and touchdown passes that come out of nowhere. Facing Rush is straightforward. Apply pressure, take away easy throws, and force mistakes. The difference is massive, and it dictates how a defense approaches a game. So even if Ryans wanted to hammer home discipline and no excuses, there's no ignoring how drastically the mindset changes depending on who's playing. That disparity is real, and it's weighing heavily on Houston's defense right now. The pressure of maybe seeing Lamar at full speed is completely different from preparing for a backup. And speaking of Lamar at full speed, you can't overlook what he was doing before the injury, because his hot start to the season explains why this possible absence is such a big deal.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Before that hamstring issue, Lamar Jackson was playing some of his best football in just a handful of games. He had already thrown for 826 yards, 10 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. On top of that, he was completing over 71% of his passes, silencing the critics who claimed he leaned too much on his legs. Those are MVP-level numbers, plain and simple. What stood out most was the command he had of Baltimore's offense. He wasn't just making plays. He was controlling every drive, spreading the ball around, and turning each possession into a scoring threat. That kind of rhythm is terrifying for defenses. And it brought back that old feeling that when Lamar is rolling, the Ravens are almost impossible to stop. Ironically, the offense hasn't been Baltimore's problem. The real issue has been their defense, which has struggled to keep opponents in check. That's forced Lamar to carry an even bigger load, and until the injury, he was living up to it. The pressure was huge, but he was delivering at an MVP pace. That's why this decision matters so much. Do you put Lamar on the field at less than 100% and risk aggravating the injury, or sit him down and possibly cost yourself a game you need? It's the ultimate balancing act, and it's all because he was playing at such a high level. And now the entire NFL is watching, waiting for that final call. Because until kickoff, no one knows if Lamar will actually take the field or the Ravens will have to pivot. The atmosphere heading into this game is pure suspense. Lamar's status is going to drag all the way up until kickoff. He hasn't practiced, which raises doubts. But at the same time, there's this lingering belief that if it's up to him, he'll find a way to play. That uncertainty has everyone. Coaches, teammates, and fans glued to every update, waiting for the final word. From the Ravens side, the strategy is clear. Keep it quiet, reveal nothing. The less information out there, the more Houston has to prepare for two very different game plans. It's a mind game, a layer of strategy that could tip the balance in Baltimore's favor. Meanwhile, the Texans are clinging to the same discipline Ryans preached. They know defending Lamar means preparing for chaos, but if it's Cooper Rush under center, everything shifts. It's like preparing for a storm and then dealing with a drizzle. The impact is night and day, but the preparation has to be done regardless. All this waiting just shows how important Lamar is, not only to Baltimore, but to the NFL as a whole. His presence makes games unpredictable, explosive, and must-watch. His absence? It changes expectations entirely, not just for one game, but potentially for the Ravens' entire season. Which is why this Texans-Ravens matchup has become one of the most anticipated showdowns of the week. Because in the end, it all boils down to one burning question. Will Lamar Jackson take the field or not? In the end, DeMeco Ryans' comment just proved how easily one line can spark controversy when it's about Lamar Jackson. While the Texans coach was talking discipline and focus, the uncertainty around Lamar's status against Houston kept growing, leaving everyone on edge. And there's no avoiding the truth. With Lamar, the Ravens are a contender. Without him, it's a whole different story. So now it comes down to this. Do you think Lamar Jackson will be out there on Sunday, even without practicing all week, or will the Ravens have to hold him back and trust someone else? That answer won't come until kickoff, and that's what makes this whole saga so gripping. Because when we're talking about Lamar Jackson, everything can change in a heartbeat.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.